briefly covered their companies and what they're doing. I want them each to tell you exactly how they are serving their clients in the financial industry in order to provide the lowest latency possible. So we'll start with Bjarni.
Thank you, Judy. I saw Hunter there sitting at the edge of his seat waiting to pitch his question. As soon as you said
We'll
it.
answer questions from anybody but Hunter.
So Hibernia Atlantic is servicing three customer groups, the wholesale media customers and the financial customers. So what we are addressing here is primarily the financial customers. And what we are doing there, we have been focusing on, and we probably were one of the earlier ones, or if not the first in certain regions, to pioneer and offer the lowest latency, absolute lowest latency to the high frequency traders and those that really needed and wanted and could justify paying for the low latency circuits. As we know, there are a number of customer groups that desire to have the lowest latency, but it's mostly the financial customers that can justify the investment and the new build to get that incremental latency savings, be that a microsecond or a millisecond. So it is, from that perspective, it's finding or building the lowest latency fiber solution between those financial exchanges. And as we know, those that are here, the most busy financial exchanges are by far New York, it is London, it is Frankfurt and Chicago. Those are the ones that we started focusing on, and then we added on Toronto, then we added on Tokyo, and others that go down to Singapore, and we have probably a selection of about 12 cities that we call the GFN, or now the Global Express network. So that's about what we are offering, and of course, today the Atlantic is about 65 milliseconds, 64.8 millisecond in terms of the fastest circuit, and when we have the Project Express ready to go, latter half of next year, that will be sub 60 milliseconds, as Jamie said, 59.8, give or take. So that's what we strive towards when we are servicing the financial customers. It is to be able to provide the absolute fastest, the lowest latency circuit between those trading exchanges.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And Erick.
Thank you, Judy, and thanks, Jamie, for inviting me to participate. GlobeNet owns and operates the lowest latency subsea cable system connecting the United States with South America. We land in Bermuda, Brazil, Colombia, and Venezuela. And we watch Bjarni very carefully. I mean, they've done a great job.
Thank you.
And if you've looked at the financial markets over the last several years, you see that Brazil is emerging as a key growth country in Latin America. The stock exchange in Bovespa has been very, very active. And we happen to own the lowest latency network asset. And what we've done is worked very, very closely with our parent company, Oi, in Brazil, as well as with partners in the United States, to really try to squeeze out every single microsecond that we can to even improve the latency that we've offered. We're in the 108.5 millisecond range. There's nobody else that can even come close, let's say, to that number. And due to the innovation of using the right combination of technology and service, GlobeNet was recently recognized by two leading industry publications, one in the United States and one in Europe, for the services that we provided to the financial community. I think that Brazil in general is the strongest economy and by far the largest economy in Latin America. It's generating $1 billion a year over the last 5 years in the stock market, and definitely having connectivity between, let's say, the New York exchanges and Bovespa, and between Bovespa and, let's say, Chicago or even London across Hibernia, is something that is very attractive to the financial community.
Great. Please, Sheldon.
All right, thank you.
Completely different version.
Yeah, a different version? Okay, I'll give it from
First,
I'd like to say thank you for inviting me to this. I appreciate that. And Jamie as well, thank you. For me, I'm with an optical networking equipment company, so we're in the business of actually designing and manufacturing the equipment that goes into these networks. So how are we serving those low latency connections? It's by providing equipment that can provide very low latency. whether it's at the physical layer through very low latency, dispersion compensation, regeneration, switching elements, or even TDM, sort of layer 1 technologies. One of the big things in helping address it is really in doing the system design, though, because it's not really just the components. It's how you design everything that goes into supplying that connection that gives you that latency. So that's where we play.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Satara.
All right, thank you. Thank you for so much, Judy, as well as Jamie. And TELEHOUSE is a kind of a global colocation brand of our parent company, of KDDI, which is second largest Japanese telecom exchange company. And we've been serving services for more than 20 years here in the United States, especially in the tri-state area. And what we are doing is actually to help carriers and financial sectors to run their business very stably. And in order to do so, we are feeding power and cooling very stably. And to do so, we have a strategic policy to run our colocation service. And then we can grow up by, everybody is coming up into those facility, especially for financial and telecom carriers mutually grow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Satoshi. And Jay?
And Judy and Jamie, thank you as well. Pleasure to be here. We are the crazy wireless guys that you hear a lot about. NeXXCom is really a next generation wireless company, but we present ourselves as a high performance broadband solutions business. Like Hibernia, we have multiple sides to our business. One of it is the trading application. One of the things that is unique about us is that we are a OSI layer 1 shop, so I hear other layer 1 friends around the table. That's great to see. But layer 1 gives us an advantage in the wireless space, which is somewhat counterintuitive, and it also leads to one of our favorite catchphrases, which we don't molest our bits. So the velocity of speed of light, plus a very efficient radio system and architecture, and the plans that we have, and we've got some really fun technology, we're able to get some lickety-split bits between any trading centers we're building here in the States, building in New York, London and Frankfurt, and we'll be within nanoseconds of speed of light in some of those corridors.